Oh. This is a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela, reporting in from Houston, Texas, coming in on the air with breaking news. Explosions are ongoing in Tehran right now as a result of unknown cause. Multiple explosions are ongoing in Tehran. I'm trying to get a live cam right now. Multiple videos also going around. Give me a moment. We're going to be loading some of these up ASAP, but multiple explosions are ongoing in Tehran right now. If you give me just a moment to load up these videos for you, I will do that ASAP. To repeat, multiple explosions are ongoing in Tehran at this time. Cause unknown. We believe, we have reason to speculate that these are missile launches. There's pictures now that we're about to download for you, showing these plumes of clouds and fires that are taking place in Tehran right now. Give me a moment. I will be doing that here. I'm also gonna download these real quick. Here is the first picture that is coming out. Air raids now being reported in Israel as well. For those tuning in, we are coming on the air with breaking news as explosions are being reported in Tehran, and Israel is now Israel is now activating their siren protocols because of these explosions, which can one can speculate mean that these were strikes. This is the first picture that has come out from Tehran, within Tehran, and then the second picture that's also coming out is this one here. This is another one that's being showcased here. This is, you can see very clearly the smoke plumes, the smoke plumes from the explosions as well. We're trying to get videos of this as well as it's happening, and we're gonna be doing that for you right now. In the meantime, explosions are also now being reported in explosions are now being reported in multiple locations within Iran. Let me quickly. I gotta promote really quickly. There we go. Multiple explosions are being reported as we speak, and they will continue to be reported within our time files. Nonetheless, we are continuing to monitor the situation. Multiple things are going on. We're about to show you a video from the explosions themselves, so be ready on the lookout for that. Let me pull up. There you go. So this has been something that has been talked about as a possibility of it happening. Quickly repeat this video for you. This is also some of the footage that is being released right now as we speak. These are from local sources. These are from civilians within the area. The situation, for those tuning in, we're following and tracking right now reports of major and video footage of major big explosions happening in Tehran and in Iran in general. But this has been something that we have been speculating about. This has been something that we have been worried about. This is something that we were predicting. Now, in regards to what this means, we don't know what this means. A lot is going on right now. But nonetheless, for those tuning in, just to quickly recap on what's going on. Explosions in Tehran, multiple explosions in Iran as well. Well, Tehran is in Iran, but multiple explosions in Iran. There was footage earlier of missiles being launched from certain viewpoints. This is one of the pictures that shows the explosion happening, or one of the immediate aftermath of an explosion there. And as that happened, also we're getting reports now of strikes in a town near Kharchin, but I'm about to pull up live cams of the situation. Just bear with me. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about. And as we load for that, you're going to have to give me a moment here. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them in the chat. We are a lot of things are happening right now as we speak. And we have live cam now. I believe we do. This is live cams from all over, basically. Live cams in Iran, live cams in Israel as well. This is some of the stuff here. Let me quickly take this off. This is live. So you're looking at multiple angles here. You're looking at Tehran City. You're looking at Tehran as well. And let me quickly remove these headlines for you. The headline scroller for you really quickly. Once I find out where this is at. There it is. And this is some of the footage that we're seeing. I did do that, Hydrogen. Indeed, I did do that. We are ready for the night. For those tuning in, continuing to monitor the situation in Iran, where explosions are being reported all over Iran, including in Tehran. We're also hearing that there is air raid sirens in Israel as a response to this, as a response to the strikes. Now, again, we don't know whether or not this is gonna be a one-time thing, if this is like one round or if this is multiple rounds. But nonetheless, footage is continuing to emerge. This is breaking news coming from Israel. Israel is now shifting essential activity status. All school gatherings and most workplaces are suspended, with only essential services being allowed to operate. So that's breaking news coming from Israel. More is going to be reported on the way. For those tuning in, we're continuing to track a lot of stuff right now, a lot of news right now, and a lot of air raid sirens as well. Quickly, let me quickly transition what we got right now into what we have. Again, a lot is going on. There's a lot to track, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But Sorry about that. You're going to have to bear with me. But there it is. Workplace gatherings. And also, now breaking news: Israeli Channel 12 is reporting this is a joint attack between Israel and the United States. So, uh, like, this is something that we were expecting to happen. We didn't know when, we didn't know where, but for quick, just for quick, um, I want to show you guys something. Just for quick reference, um, this is this is the situation in the Middle East. You're about to see this graphic, so you're gonna have to give me a moment. But this is the situation in the Middle East right now. Gotta do this. This is the situation in the Middle East right now. You can see Israel in the dark blue. America would also, the United States would also be in the dark blue. But we have the light blue countries, which are the countries that are not necessarily supplying the United States, but are holding American troops. And then you have red, which would be Iran right now. The gray are the unaffiliated countries, directly unaffiliated. There could be arguments that could be made for either side, nonetheless. Additionally, we're about to show you the U.S. troop presence in the Middle East. This is how many troops we have in the Middle East right now. The biggest countries, obviously, being Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, and Jordan. Jordan or Qatar and Bahrain holding around 9,500 troops. So that's another thing to note. It's also important to know that these numbers are actively changing. These were numbers from about a week ago. We don't know how many troops are there right now. These are just the graphics that we have on display for you for now, and things will obviously change. But again, this is what's going on in the Middle East. This is the situation what you're looking at right now. American-made tomahawks entering Iran. Let me quickly verify that for you. There is a lot going on. Reports of disobedience of orders in some units. So there's now reports, according to the MER, which is a organization. MER is report. Oh my God! I gotta show you this. I gotta show y'all this. This is an explosion that occurred in. I think this occurred in Tehran as well. This is an explosion. Let me quickly pull it up here and then download it, and then I'll be broadcasting this to you. But this, I would assume, is in Tehran. Let me quickly display that for you. Give me a moment. And you're seeing, this is just huge, what's going on here. Those are huge explosions, huge huge explosion, like smoke clouds that are rising up as a result of these explosions. Nonetheless, a lot going on right now, a lot to multitask as well. For those tuning in, we're continuing to monitor the situation in Iran, Israel, and a couple other countries in which these explosions are happening in Iran. Israel has now confirmed that these explosions were premeditated with the United States in a joint operation with Israel and the United States. Again, just to remind you, this is what the situation is looking like in the Middle East. And again, a lot to talk about, specifically the geopolitical side of things. But nonetheless, this is quite important stuff. And let's talk about. This is not what we want to talk about. Let's quickly talk about what strike zones can look like, or what the strike capabilities of Iran could look like. This is not necessarily accurate, but these are approximate. Iran can't hit these countries very comfortably. Um, Specifically, if you're in the red, so if you're in portions of Qatar, the UAE, uh, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iraq, and you're within inside that red zone, that's the immediate zone, which means that at any moment those missiles that are launched, they can hit there quick. Uh, it'll be quick. Um, Now, in addition to that, uh, now if you're in the orange zone, this is the mid-range zone. So basically, what this means is that um, these are zones where the missiles will take a bit, but they're still moving fast enough where when they do hit, they can sometimes be unpredictable. And this is why, in a lot of instances, um, air defense systems don't work because some of these are unpredictable. Some of the missiles specifically are unpredictable. Now, if you're in the yellow zone, you're in the long range. This is for long range missiles. In this point, like for example, if you're in Israel, this is why part of the reason why um, your this is part of the reason why the air defense system works very well, which is because a lot of these long range missiles, they take a long time to get there. So at that point, you're already able to make assumptions, to make predictions about, um, you know, make predictions about what's going on and where these missiles can hit. But that's the situation right now. We're going to continue to provide you coverage on any situation. We're going to be here all night. Uh, this is speculation, folks, and I want to quickly note that this is purely speculatory, but there are reports now of many jets flying ahead, potentially F-35s. Now, we don't know whether this is confirmed. This is pure speculation at the moment. We're just reporting it because it's worth noting. Um, it's worth noting that this is indeed possible. Breaking news: Israel has closed their airspace. This is predicted, but that's the news. Israel closes airspace. That is breaking news coming in from Tel Aviv. You are walking. Wow. You are watching Disaster Central live coverage on multiple unprecedented situations, multiple what looks like it's going to be multiple rounds of explosions. Multiple rounds of explosions are happening. News right now continuing to pop up. Multiple news agencies are reporting on this now. Heavy explosions in Narmak, Iran as well. Reports that one of the targets, Israeli media is reporting that one of the targets was the Iranian regime, Masoud Pezeshkian. Don't know who that is. I believe it's the president of Iran, however. So that's what's going on there. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, send them in the YouTube chat below. A lot to talk about here, a lot to be discussed, but nonetheless, we're going to be here for it. Again, those tuning in, explosions happening in Iran. This was what we had feared for a very long time. We had feared this moment for a long time, and it's happening, and it's happened, and unfortunately, we are at a point where the situation is not getting better. In fact, the situation is intensifying very quickly, uh, with reports that the U.S. is having missile attacks, or the U.S. is participating in the missile attacks. Give me a moment. If you, yeah, multiple events happening right now as we speak. Let me quickly do what I have to do behind the scenes uh, for now. Just quickly do this. So, with that being said, um, a lot going on. I'm trying to translate a lot of this because a lot of this that's coming out is in Arabic and in Hebrew. In fact, there's reports within Iran that are suggesting that military leaders are no longer, some military units are no longer responding to military commands. Uh, it looks like, yeah, it looks like, again, multiple explosions happening in Iran. CNN is now reporting that this is a U.S. Israeli coordinated attack that is being played, and an assassination attempt against Iranian President Masoud Peshkian is being investigated. It looks like a drone strike may have happened. We don't know if it's successful, but reports now, there's jets coming on. There's jets, I think, now in Tehran. Oh, let's quickly turn that off for now. Quickly turn that off for now. Don't care about politics right now. U.S. Embassy in Qatar implements shelter in place for all personnel. Recommended all Americans do the same until further notice. It looks like we are in the brink of a conflict, if not so already in one. I'm trying to zoom in, but it's just not letting me do that. Okay, oh, whatever. Um, it looks like there were jets that just came our, um, through our screen. Breaking news. Breaking news. Keep going. U.S. official says that American military strikes in Iran are underway, according to the New York Times. Iranians are now saying Iranian media, social media, not actual media, media is reporting that uh, I can't read. Everything's going by quick. Iranian media is now reporting that units are now quote unquote rebelling against commanders within Iran. The U.S. participated in an attack, which which is also carrying out strikes. So they're also Americans are now also being involved in this. America is getting involved in this as well. For those tuning in, we are covering reports now of what looks to be like the beginning stages of a military conflict within the region of the Middle East, as Iran and the United States have participated in military airstrikes that have targeted Iranian towns, cities, etc. We don't know what specifically targets they were targeting. We do understand, however, that there looks to be an apparent attempted assassination on the president of Iran, based on preliminary visual data. And breaking news: Baghdad airspace is now officially closed until further notice. So, just quickly updating this. Multiple. And once that does that, we're going to do this. Again, a lot of footage coming in right now. We don't know if there's going to be multiple rounds. It looks like there could be multiple rounds as well, making their way. Yeah, American officials are now confirming to Al Jazeera that this is indeed a U.S. Air Force and is Israeli Air Force joint operation. So we can confirm that the United States and Israel have begun the attack. Locals are now reporting that an explosion has taken place in Azadi Stadium in perhaps Tehran. Reports now in Iran now coming out that there are severe disruptions in cellular communication. We don't know fatalities, but that is likely going to be reported. Reports of targeted assassinations in strikes of Iran. This is being confirmed now by the AP. The Associated Press is also confirming that Iran's Ministry of Intelligence has been attacked. Now, we don't know specifically if this was their headquarters or if this was certain operations that were operating within Iran. But we know now, Iranian media is now reporting that there was an attempted assassination on the Supreme Leader Khamenei, yeah, the Supreme Leader of Iran. Opposition sources are in Iran report that there is an attack on the residence of President Iran. Iranian commands are potentially paralyzed. That is what's being reported now. That is now being reported indeed. So for those tuning in, the beginning stages of a multi-day, perhaps multi-week conflict are now beginning, with all of this starting off with the explosions in Tehran, where reports are now telling us that targeted assassinations have occurred. And now reports of trading in Tehran, the Tehran Stock Exchange, have been suspended until further notice. So trading in Tehran is now temporarily, or at least permanently, shut down until further notice, as these explosions are taking place as we speak. And let me quickly contact a friend who's in Qatar right now. So just give me a moment. I can find it. We're taking a live look in Iran right now and in Israel, but predominantly in Iran, as explosions are being reported in Tehran, or they were reported in Tehran, with now reports that there are targeted assassination attempts being reported as well. We don't know of anything else except that we understand that air raid sirens are being closed, and now I gotta do this because yeah, we just want to spam ads. Um, Iran, yeah, the United States is participating in the Israeli strikes against Iran. The AP says, obviously, the AP, very reliable source, as they have been the ones that have been verifying a lot of these reports. Uh, Breaking news: Supreme Leader office struck, according to Iran International, uh, and now reports that the operation was planned for months, and the launch date had been decided weeks ago. The presidential building has been destroyed. Wow. Unconfirmed reports of airstrikes on ministries in Tehran. Reports also indicating that there is now new sounds of explosions in Qom. I don't know where that is, but three huge planes have been seen moving around. We don't know again the situation. Air raid sirens are all over Israel, telling people to get ready for a potential feedback response, or preparing those people for a feedback response, which is very possible as we speak. There we go. A lot going on. We're reporting on as much news as we can. Mobile lines have been cut in parts of eastern and western Tehran. Internet connectivity weakened in some areas, per reports. Oh, please don't lag. Come on. I need this to operate. New rounds of explosions. New rounds of explosions in Qom. Yes, new rounds of explosions are happening in Qom and Isfahan. Israeli source saying that they're going all in. We do not know what that means, but that looks like um that looks like it's very provocative language. That looks like it's very provocative language. Quickly update this. We're going all in. That is very worrying language. That is something you do not want to hear when you're in the midst of a conflict. Just something you don't want to hear. It's lagging again. Oh my god. There's too much going on. Those tuning in, war looks now imminent, is what some people are saying. Israeli media is saying that Israel is planning to go all in on this attack against Iran. If you can, shameless plug, but if you can quickly like the stream, subscribe to the channel, that means a lot. If you can share this stream out to as many people as you can, that would also be very appreciative, as we're going to be up a very long night doing this. Well, I am. I don't know about the rest, but I am. So I would appreciate that. But let's see what's going on. Now, it's important to talk about what the timeline about this is. The the timeline starts, really, it starts after July of 2020 or June 2025. If you recall, the United States or Israel and Iran went on this like 2 week conflict where they just shot air missiles at each other. A lot of them hit each other. A lot of them did end up hitting these both countries. Then the United States decides to get involved. Now that very much soured tensions because that those missile strikes themselves, they were launched from B-2 bombers, and they were also saying that they also targeted they were also targeting their nuclear silos. So that happens. Then a couple of months happen, and then the protests in Iran begin to occur. Now the protests in Iran uh, started out relatively peaceful. The United States threatened Iran that if they were to shoot down protesters, then they were going to take action. That's when the tensions begin to build up again. Immediately after Iran saying that they were not going to let that happen, they start killing protesters. As of the latest estimates, um, as of the latest estimates, um, it looks like Iran has killed 35,000 people that were protesting. There was reports during the peak times that they were slaughtering thousands within streets within like a night. That's how bad it got. Then Trump warned Iran that um, if they hang protesters or if they execute protesters that were arrested, then that they were going to respond. They Iran says that's not going to happen, and then they proceed to do that the day of. In response, Trump backs out. Then, increasingly, as the same way that it started with Venezuela, increasingly the threats became more and more serious when the buildup began to build up more and more and more to the point where this week we had surpassed our pre-Iraq war numbers in terms of military personnel within the area. Then yesterday, negotiation talks happened in I believe it was somewhere in Geneva. Negotiations happened and those completely collapsed. Now Iran on one hand was saying, "Oh yeah, these are going positively." Trump said today at his meeting or at his speech in Corpus Christi, he was doing something about the energy sector or whatever, rebuilding America's energy or whatever. But he was doing that, and then he was doing that. He said that the negotiations had practically collapsed. Today, a lot of things happened. Primarily, the other countries, presumably after being told that this was going to happen, they started telling and evacuating all their personnel from embassies out of both countries. Like they were getting them out. Now they said this was as a precaution. The night happens, things begin to calm down because it looked like for a moment that they were going to attack at night. They don't do that. They started attacking about an hour ago when videos started surfacing, I believe from Syria or Iraq, of missiles being launched from a region. And you can see the missiles being launched. It was good, very close video. Consequently, within 10 minutes, we start getting those first pictures and reports of explosions in Tehran. And now this is where we're at. These explosions have happened. Israel confirms that this was an Israeli and American joint military operation, joint Air Force operation. Iran has given no statement except that the media is now confirming that there has been multiple targeted assassinations in Iran. We don't know specifically what is going on, but Breaking news: Iranian state news has cut all reporting and switched to a documentary about Soleimani. Who knows what that could mean? Now, typically when other news agencies do this, like for example the BBC, when the BBC does this, this is typically a telltale sign that something has gone wrong, somebody has died. But we don't know what this means with Iran because Iran they never do this. They're not like they're totalitarian, sure, but they're not as totalitarian and they don't brainwash people as they're not that emphasized on brainwashing people as um, they're not as brainwashed as essentially uh, North Korea. We don't know what this means. This could be that the supreme leader died. This could not be it, and this could be Iran attempting to reassert themselves in a stronger position. The Speaker of the Iranian Parliament has now said, "quote We warned you. The harsh response is on the way." We don't know what that means. Presumably, we know that war is basically now being declared. Again we don't know what this means. We're gonna hope and wait and see what happens. The question now is whether or not Iran's going to retaliate, and they're saying that they will, but you know, we don't know. Third wave of airstrikes have begun, according to this report. Let's quickly talk about we got a few of y'all here. Let's quickly talk about the situation and where things stand right now in geopolitical affairs in the Middle East. Right. So this is the status in the Middle East. This is the current. That's not what happened. Okay. So currently, this is the status right now. So currently, you're looking at the big red. The big red is Iran. The light blue are the countries that are aiding the United States in any sort of way. This would be whether or not they're holding military troops or they're holding in weaponry or stuff like that. The red, obviously Iran. Iran is the presumed enemy of this, the presumed enemy according to, and this is through the perspective of the American. This is what the Americans' perspective is, or what the American government's perspective is. The red is Iran. Iran is technically the enemy of our state right now, of the United States right now. So that is basically what that is. Then the yellow, we don't talk about that. That's Yemen. Yemen is basically an active conflict right now because they've been fighting each other for years. They're only there because they're not necessarily ideologically involved with Iran, but they're also not ideologically involved with. They're also not ideologically involved with the U.S. or Israel either. So they're just there. They're there because they're an active zone. Now, we highlighted a portion in blue in Africa. This is Somaliland. This is not technically recognized as a country. The only country to have recognized it is Israel. The reason why they're in blue right now is because there's open talk negotiations for Israel to start putting military weaponry in there and have a base there. That's the only reason why they're there. They're not irrelevant right now, but they could be in the long run if this turns out to be a very long run event. Now, if this does indeed become a very long run event, if this does indeed become a very long run event, then we'll know what to do. It looks like a fighter jet was also reported. Confirmed where? It's just Israel right now. What do you mean? If you could give me the context to that, I'll be able to quickly clarify that for you. Now, let's talk about another important thing that a lot of people are not talking about, which is the Strait of Hormuz, right? The Strait of Hormuz is extremely important. This is where a fifth of the world's oil supply goes through every year. This oil feeds countries like South Korea, like Japan, and China. This oil route itself specifically has a lot of investors worried or a lot of people in the stock market worried, and especially if you're investing in the oil industry. Because if you're investing in the oil industry and 1/5 of your supply is now being blockaded, or not necessarily blockaded, but are being caught in the middle of an active war zone, then that oil is not going to be, that oil is not going to be there. To clarify with that, the United States actually was involved in the missile attacks. A U.S. official confirmed to the New York Times that America was involved militarily and in intelligence. There was also reports that multiple F-35 jets were seen flying in Tehran as well. This is the official Iranian response. Iran says, quote, Israel and the United States have started a path whose end is not in its hands. And we can confirm that there has been a confirmed assassination. Iranian media is reporting that the defense minister has been killed in these attacks. Sorry. So this is very important to talk about the Strait of Hormuz. If if Hormuz, if the oil supply gets stopped, if the oil supply stops for even a day, that is billions and billions of dollars lost, and billions of barrels of oil that have been lost because they're not traveling. Iranian official says, quote, several ministers have been targeted in southern Tehran. Breaking news: IRNA, which is the Iranian national media outlet, has been hacked. So if you go to their website, they've been hacked. Interesting. The operation codename has officially been released. It has been confirmed to be Operation Lion's Roar. Operation Lion's Roar, yeah. Sounds of explosions now being reported in Kermanshah. Taking you back to our feed, our live streaming feed. Not much you can see for now, but once these strikes become more and more severe, we'll probably be able to catch some things up in the live cam. I'll be right back.